Hello, I'm Dr. Stacia, AGRiP's Inclusion Resident. The work that AGRiP and its member pools are doing this year is designed to expose and equip your governing body and organization to support and advance diversity of thought and demographic diversity within your pool. We are pleased to present a series of 4 videos that will provide guidance on how your pool can strengthen its board governance through intentional inclusivity practices. This first video focuses on understanding inclusivity as a definitive concept. Our purpose in this video is to establish a practical understanding of governance inclusivity and why it's so important for your pooling operation. Pools are complex and focused on important coverage and risk management considerations by providing the highest level of services to their public entity members. Public entity pools aspire to perform at the highest levels for the good of the local public entities and their constituents. Your guidance and efforts shape public entity operations, impact thousands of local public entity employees and their families, influence public entity policy, and make a difference in local communities. Although all public entity pools serve a very similar mission and purpose, the governance structures and responsibilities differ significantly from one pool to the next. No matter the differences, success for any governing body is measured by its ability to meet the highest standards of performance based upon best practices in governance roles and responsibilities. There is substantial research and a clear roadmap for how boards can meet and exceed governance expectations. The work of boards begins with the assembly of members who have the responsibility to govern the organization. Building as much cognitive and demographic diversity as possible within governing bodies is key. I'll refer to this as governance inclusivity. Governance inclusivity is achieved when we prioritize having as many diverse inputs from people whose contributions come from a broad set of experiences, perspectives, and demographic backgrounds. The most important practice for pool governing bodies and organizations is to examine the current inclusiveness of your governing body, discuss your diversity strengths and gaps, and implement practices that will improve your governing body's inclusivity. It's important to make an explicit commitment to work towards whatever level of inclusion your pool can achieve. You might be curious why cognitive diversity is so important for strong performance. Multiple research studies have demonstrated that increased cognitive diversity creates improved strategies, better risk management, and better debates and outcomes. What does cognitive diversity look like for a pool governing body? It's the intentional involvement of people with diverse professional, educational backgrounds, expertise, personal styles, and functional capabilities. This involvement would ideally be as a board member. However, if there are constraints to board membership, such as through bylaws or other governing documents, then identifying how to expand cognitive diversity in other ways is equally as important. We'll explore some of these alternatives to building cognitive diversity at the governance level in future videos. Demographic inclusion is probably a concept that you have already considered. Think of demographic diversity as building a board environment that includes members from a range of geographic locations, age, gender, race, nationality, ethnicity, socioeconomic class, and other social characteristics of individuals. Demographic diversity has to be uniquely determined for each governing body based upon its scope, mission, member or user dynamics, local geography, and social or community considerations. There is no standard requirement. your governing body defines its own demographic diversity priorities. Similar to cognitive diversity, demographic diversity has numerous performance benefits. It improves open-mindedness, curiosity, acceptance, and responsiveness, all of which are linked to more comprehensive understanding and improved collaboration. Many of you have already started to explore methods to strengthen your governance inclusion simply because it's the right thing to do. I'm excited to share that there is also an abundance of research that supports inclusivity. McKinsey & Company's Diversity Matters project found that when organizations increased demographic diversity by gender, their financial performance improved by 15%, and when ethnic diversity was increased, this resulted in a 35% improvement. Deloitte's research on inclusivity found that increasing cognitive diversity increased innovation by 20%, and these organizations were also 3 times more likely to be high-performing. One of the most striking results was published in the Harvard Business Review, where they found that high cognitive diversity for knowledge and perspectives resulted in teams that problem-solve faster. In fact, the teams with the lowest cognitive diversity took the longest or even failed overall to complete the task. We know that improving inclusion and solving diversity challenges can be daunting. These results are hopefully enough to motivate you for the work ahead, with the realization that your pool's governance and overall performance will be strengthened by increased inclusivity. We invite you to learn more about inclusivity by visiting the Inclusivity section of AGRiP's website to review all of the presentations, research, and recorded programs that are housed there. We specifically invite you to watch the May 7th and 21st, 2019 webinar recordings. We suggest that you view this video with your entire governing body and have an open discussion about understanding inclusivity. I have some suggestions for how to start this important conversation in the May 21st, 2019 webinar. Consider the opportunity for individual pool governance coaching with me. Email your request for coaching to info@agrip.org. Thank you for your leadership and for taking the time to understand inclusivity.